I think we've all heard of the Rastafarians, but here's the thing. Have you heard of the Pastafarians? No? Didn't think so. Well, who are these people and, well, what do they believe? Well, stick around. Let's find out. Bob Marley is what comes to mind, I think, when most people conjure up the name Rastafarian. So, you Bob here, and maybe this guy. Yeah, we all get it. Rastafarians, smoking weed and, chilling and reggae and stuff like that. We all know the whole Rastafarian thing. But did you know, and I'm assuming you did not, that there's such a thing called Pastafarians?
Wait a minute!
Are you serious?
That's right. Pastafarians do exist. And they are a religion according to themselves, cult maybe to other people, but they are the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. I kid you not. Let's have a look into who these people are, what do they believe, and why are they being persecuted for their beliefs. Let's jump on over here to RT. Let's see what RT has for us here on the 19th of June. This is pretty recent stuff. And the headline there, Pastafarians cry foul after Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster fails to win formal recognition in Australia. Now, I'm against persecution in general, and I'm against religious persecution. I think it's always been a stain on societies across history, and even today, you should be able to believe what you want and practice what you want, so long as you're not affecting other people in a bad way or you're causing harm or whatever. You believe whatever the hell you want. What do I care? It's none of my business what you believe. You want to believe in the so-called Pastafarian religion, the god of Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, then I say, yeah, go on. You can. Enjoy yourself. Let's see what RT has for us on the Pastafarians, shall we? Right, so we got that there, the headline. The Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster will have to remain underground, an underground pasta worshipping sect in Australia, after a tribunal ruled that the satirical religion was unworthy of formal recognition. Adelaide resident Tanya Watkins, a high-ranking quote Pastafarian, had made several attempts to secure official status for the church, but to no avail. They weren't having it. The Aussies just weren't wearing this. Apparently tired of having her pasta deity so thoroughly disrespected, she filed an appeal insisting that the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster was incorporated for a, quote, religious, educational, charitable or benevolent purpose, close quote, thus meeting the standards for official recognition stipulated in South Australia's Associations Incorporation Act. Good on you, Tanya. Well done. She's not taking this lying down. They weren't having it. The Aussies weren't having it, but she's appealed, and she's not taking this lightly. While making her case, Watkins claimed that the church emphasises charitable acts and had previously hosted an event to, quote, feed the hungry, one would assume, with pasta. That's just a guess on my part. I've no proof of that. Might say a bit later on in the article here. While making her case, Watkins claimed that the church emphasises charitable acts, and yeah, we got that. The South Australian Civil and Administrative Tribunal, SACAT, there's always a little kind of thing with the letters there, isn't there? SACAT. Who do you work for? Oh, I work for SACAT. Okay, fair enough. Kind of like NASA, but anyway, you get the drift.
Who'd you talking about?
Was not persuaded, however. SACAT was not persuaded.
No! No! No!
The tribunal issued an irreverent, possibly pastaphobic, see what they've done there, pastaphobic ruling in which it described the religion as a, quote, hoax and a, quote, sham. It's a hoax and a sham. It's a hoax of two shams, they probably would have said following that.
We're surrounded by a mental case.
Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Unworthy of official status, said the Sakat. Quote, the Pastafarian texts do not represent religious texts, and Pastafarianism does not fulfill the objective considerations required to establish a religious purpose under the legislation, the ruling stated, adding that there was, quote, no evidence of systemic teaching or systematic teaching and learning processes in the Church of Pastafarianism, or the spaghetti, was he the flying spaghetti monster? The tribunal also mentioned, this is Sakat here, the tribunal also questioned the claim that Australian Pastafarians were engaged in, quote, broad-based charitable activities, close quote. So it was nothing to do with the whole flying spaghetti monster, but just doing good deeds and being kind in general. I think that's where Sakat was going with that. What's this? Who's this guy? Also on our team. Flying spaghetti monster devotee wins right to wear colander on head in ID. Alright. What's all that about? Who's this guy? You click on this. There you go. Sorry, we're getting a bit off track, but we're digging deep. We're going deep on the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, because sometimes when you want to get to the nub of the matter, you have to go deep.
Spoken like a true man.
No, okay, let's move on quickly. Alright, who's this charming gentleman here wearing a colander on his head? Usually a thing that you wash vegetables in and it's, you hold it under a tap, and you know what a colander is. Kitchen utensil basically. Well, he seems to he's using it as a fashion accessory here on his driver's license. Who is this guy? Sean Michael Corbett. What's he got to say for himself? Religious struggle comes in many forms. It certainly does. For one Arizona man, it's all about winning the right to wear a colander on his head in his driver's license photo.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
Yeah, I suppose it takes all sorts. Sean Corbett is a Pastafarian. Here we go. We're back onto the Pastafarians straight away. You thought I was drifting there, but I wasn't. I'm right on the money. Meaning he's a member of the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster and has been fighting for years to be allowed to wear his, quote, religious headgear. There you see, we're getting further into the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, Pastafarianism, part of their religious garb, part of their uniform, or you know, like the Amish and like the what do you call those Jews with the funny hats? And they're not funny, sorry, they're very nice, and the particular hairstyle, Hasidic Jews. Like some of these religions, they have a kind of a thing to them. So I assume the Pastafarians, or Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, part of their thing is to wear a kitchen utensil on your head. Well, I don't see a problem with that. He's not hurting anybody. Sean Corbett, okay, yeah, we got that. He eventually succeeded. Good for Sean, but it might not last for long, as the state of Arizona is threatening to void his license. Most states do not permit the wearing of headgear in a driver's license photo, though exceptions are made for religious reasons. Well, I assume that's for Sikhs, and I don't know, are Muslims covered in that? Hasidic Jew? I don't know, to be honest. I'm not really familiar with the Arizona state code. RT caught up with Corbett to find out about his fight and why he chose to become a Pastafarian. Well, I'm certainly interested in this. Quote is from Sean, I assume. This has been going on for about 2.5 years now. I discovered the religion about 3 years ago, and I did a lot of research about it, Corbett said. Quote, I agree with its values, an essential moral compass, and in this day and age, where it seems like religion has been used as a weapon against other people, I wanted to find something that was peaceful, fun, light-hearted, such as myself. Well, there he is there. Looks like a fairly light-hearted chap. Nice colander, by the way. I wonder, do they rust if you weren't out in the rain, like wearing your colander? Would it? You'd probably just get another colander. There we go. There is the deity of Pastafarianism, the actual an artist's rendition of the flying spaghetti monster. There you see kind of 2 eyes and a bit of spaghetti and some meatballs. Oh, okay. Meatballs.
That's a spicy meatball!
There you go. What's this? Church of Flying Spaghetti Monster hosts its first official wedding in New Zealand. Right, they're all over. New Zealand, Australia, America, Arizona. Probably one down the road from me, keeping to themselves, no doubt, hiding their light under a bushel. Don't want to get too high a profile, one should imagine, in Ireland at the moment. But that may change. Might look into it. Might seek them out if they're there indeed, hiding in a hedge. Upon studying the religion, Corbett discovered that the Pastafarians place spaghetti colanders on their heads, and he decided to update his government ID with the headgear. And why not? If he's committed to the cause, he should go all in. Government agencies initially refused, but this didn't deter Corbett,
I'll be back.
who, after a couple of years, managed to convince one of the managers at a branch of the Department of Motor Vehicles, DMV, kind of like SACAT there earlier, DMV. Who do you work for, the DMV? To allow him to use the photo. So he must have got somebody on a good day, or perhaps a bad day, somebody in the old DMV, and said, listen, go on, lad, go on. And somebody said, oh, look, whatever. Put it in your head if you have to, and stand over there. I'll take a picture of you for your licence. Quote, she warned me that they would issue me a temporary licence, but there was no guarantee that I would receive an actual licence in the mail if it didn't pass the screening classes. So I was willing to take the concession and move forward for the sake of actually getting further than I'd ever gone before, Corbett said, adding that he received the licence almost a month later and was, quote, really ecstatic about it. So it seemed to get past the screening process, and he actually got his licence. There's Sean Corbett again. This is probably a tweet, is it, from Sean? It is. First in Arizona to represent Pastafarianism on a state-issued licence. This is big news and a big win for the Pastafarian community, the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. Pastafarians no longer need to fear the rejection from uninitiated MVD employees, as I have paved the way for your salvation. You see what he's done there? Amen, but it's not. It's amen. Ramen. Good man, Sean. Well done. There he is again. Just a handsome lad, and the colander looks great on him. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Now let's go back to where were we? Who were we with this? Hold on. No, that's not that. Oh, there we go. All right, we're back. Now back to the original article. So this is back to SACAT saying that the whole thing is a load of tosh, and we're not having any of it. Go home, and just leave us alone, is what SACAT was saying. The ruling was handed down earlier this year, but only recently published online. They probably didn't want to, raise the heckles of the Pastafarian movement at large, so they were trying to keep a lid on this. Watkins told the ABC, as the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, I assume, that the decision was quite disappointing. Yeah, I can imagine she was gutted. It was a blow for her whole worldview and her adherence and devotion to the flying spaghetti monster. So I'm sure she was absolutely distraught, noting that the formal recognition would allow greater government oversight, making the church's activities more transparent. They're just trying to do the right thing, and I can't blame them. They're out there doing good works, doing charity, helping people, helping the poor possibly, helping people in need, and they just want to be like everybody else. They just want to be like every other religion, and why can't they?
No!
Right? That's what I say. They're not harming anyone. In fact, they're helping people. I say let the Pastafarians live. Let them live, I say. Pastafarianism, let's go back to this. She rejected the notion that the religion was a, quote, hoax, and insisted that there is, quote, a core group of people who really believe in Pastafarianism and that it can change people's lives for the better. Fair play. Pastafarianism originated in 2005 in an open letter to the Kansas Board of Education, jokingly proposed that flying spaghetti monsterism be taught alongside creationism in science classes. So this is where I assume it kicked off, because in Kansas, there was obviously a lot of toing and froing about creationism and versus science and all this stuff that Americans seem to get into even to this day. These debates are still going on, it seems, in parts of America, mostly, I should imagine, in the interior, though I can't really prove that. Since its inception, the church has experienced varying success in gaining acceptance. It has faced roadblocks while trying to gain official status in Germany, but followers have been able to obtain government IDs wearing their church-mandated colander in several US states. So it seems our friend Sean here, he's got some traction. It's not only Arizona now. I think the Pastafarians are making strides even in other states. Right, and even Russia. Oh, good man, Putin. Putin doesn't mind the Pastafarians, it seems. Right. So, they're getting the IDs not only in several states in America, even in Russia. Pastafarianism seems to be at least accepted in some part. In 2016, the group officiated its first New Zealand wedding ceremony. Well done to the Pastafarians there. Good work. All right. What have we got here? A few comments from the RT community. What are the boys and girls saying about this? Rally Hokkaido. Bit of a samurai theme to that. I became a Pastafarian nearly 10 years ago and have faithfully followed the spaghetti monster one assumes, teachings ever since. In conclusion, you may be interested to know that global warming, earthquakes, hurricanes and other natural disasters are a direct effect of the shrinking number of pirates since the 1800s. Make pasta, not war. Shrinking number of... Anyway, that's Rally Hokkaido. Good man or woman, it's unclear. Whatever work says, haven't the Pastafarians suffered enough persecution and hate crimes as it is? I say we end this gluten intolerance. Yes, I agree with that. I agree with whatever works here. Niels van Bogelen. And Bogelen, good name that. A hoax and a sham. So what is needed, says Niels. What is needed? Proof your God exists, because by all means make that the requirement for having an official status, in my humble opinion. Alright. Yeah. Okay, can't really prove any God exists, really, can you, if you're going to go by those methods. Caramel hockey. The Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster is widespread. So it seems. I didn't know this. In the US, we show our support by throwing cooked spaghetti noodles on a wall, and if it sticks, you are automatically enrolled in our club.
Welcome to the club, buddy.
Right. So, okay. In one chapter, in one particular end of the church, it seems, they have a sort of an initiation ceremony there where you throw pasta against the wall. Interesting stuff. Okay. Capital. They sound quite interesting. I wonder how they would do in Catholic but pasta-loving Italy. Well, that's something we may never know. Well, there you go. Pastafarianism. What do you think of it? Did you know it existed? I certainly didn't. Do you like the sound of it? Doing charitable work sounds good to me. Being kind, helping the poor, helping the downtrodden. I can't have an issue with that. And if you like pasta as well, I'm not sure if they have to eat pasta. Do they only eat pasta? It didn't say in the article there. Might have to look into that a bit more. But yes, Rastafarians, well, they've got dreadlocks and reggae and smoking pot and stuff. But the Pastafarians, well, no. They've got pasta.